Successful people don't become successful by mistake. This is because they have developed a level of competency that a normal person doesn't have. They have developed that competence over time, and therefore they execute certain things with ease. Of course, this is not only to deal with money, but even at work, there are people who tend to execute work with ease. You might be asking, why is it so? Some work for others it is tiresome, while for others it is a simple task. It is as simple as drinking water. Why is it so? So today I'm going to run you through the process of how to develop your competency so that you reach a level on which you are able to operate without the use of conscious resources, to a level that you are able to execute without panic, to a level that you are able to execute work without feeling that pressure. Thank you guys for coming back on my YouTube channel. This is the Belt Entrepreneur, also known as Maluba Mwilelumwe as my first name. So let us jump direct into the discussion for today. So there are basically four processes that you have to go through in order to develop a certain level of competence, which is called the unconscious competence. So the first stage is you develop what is called unconscious incompetence. Unconscious incompetence. So unconscious incompetence, congratulations. Every one of us was born with it. So I'll give a scenario of a vehicle, okay? I'll give a scenario of a vehicle so that we understand properly what these competences and incompetences mean. So when we say unconscious incompetence, what do I mean? For example, there is a vehicle, okay? Now, you know that this is a vehicle, but you don't know how it operates. You don't know where the clutch is, you don't know where the accelerator is, but you just know this is a vehicle, okay? For some, like especially kids, they might not know that this is even a vehicle. They just know it's something. Maybe the name they might not even know. So they're ignorant of that thing. You might know the thing, but you don't know how it operates. You don't know that this is a clutch, you don't know that this is an accelerator. So that is unconscious incompetence because you don't know anything. You don't know how it operates. So that is the level of unconscious incompetence, and most of us are born with it. We tend to shift from unconscious incompetence to a level we call conscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence. So conscious incompetence is a level where you have now developed from the level of unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. This is where, for example, the same scenario of a vehicle, you now know that this is the accelerator, it increases the speed, this is the clutch for changing gears, but you don't know how to operate it. So you are now beginning to have that thought that this is how this works. This is how this works. So that is a level of conscious incompetence. Then moving on from the level of conscious incompetence, we now move to a level called conscious competence. Conscious competence. So conscious competence is whereby you are now able to use that thing, but of course with the reason of your mind. Okay, you have to use your mind because that thing is not yet embedded in you, it's not part of you. So therefore you have to operate with the use of conscious resource, which is it could be the mind, it could be a book or whatever thing in order to operate that thing. So that is what we call conscious competence. Now the highest level of competence is what is called the unconscious competence. The unconscious competence, this is a level that when you reach, even when you are sick, even when you are what, you'll be able to give advice, you'll be able to operate. Okay, for example, the same scenario of a vehicle. Okay, the same scenario of a vehicle, you find certain people, they are not even looking at where the, let's say, the gear is, but they're able to change gears. Some are even able to drive, are even able to change gears without holding the steering, because they've reached a level of unconscious competence where they are not using their conscious resources, but it is as a result of practice that you know the process, whereby it is in you. You just know this is what has to happen. Okay? You don't have to wait for certain sounds to happen before, let's say, you change down gears or whatever. It is just embedded in you, like, okay, maybe after 3 minutes I have to change down, after this mouse I have to change this, I have to what. It's more like it becomes part of you. So in order to attain this level of unconscious competence, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice. And by the way, these processes can only happen if you're a person who has subjected yourself to consistent learning. This is why they emphasize on personal development, because without personal development, you never run through these levels. In fact, you remain with a level of unconscious competence where you know nothing. You just hear of things, but you don't know how they operate. Okay? So, the more we learn, the more we escape the unconscious incompetence, because the unconscious incompetence is a level where it is dormant. You head nowhere. Okay? You are going nowhere. It's like you are just a baby. And in order to succeed, you can't afford being at this level. Therefore, subject yourself to consistent learning. Always practice, uh, because by doing so is when you reach this level of unconscious competence, where you are able to execute things with ease. Okay? You find that sometimes practice makes perfect, as I say. For some people, you will struggle, let's say, with maybe creating a business plan. But you find that there are those people, give them 30 minutes, they're done. You even begin to wonder how. How do you come up with ideas? You think that maybe they even copy from someone else, maybe they just download it or something like that. But it is because they have been doing it again and again that they master the art. Certain people, they will be given money, start a business, they'll fail lamentably. But a person who has experience in trying and failed, give them money and they'll use that money properly, and they'll start a new business from scratch and build it. Why? Because they know the process, they understand the business environment, because they subjected themselves to learning and trying and correcting themselves. So this is what I had for you guys. Let us develop a habit of consistent learning. Buy courses, buy digital courses. In as much as they seem as though you're wasting money, they will really help. As I always say, a person should know part of everything. I should know part of everything. Know a bit of health, know a bit of accounting, know a bit of engineering, know a bit of almost everything. Know a bit of farming. You can't afford to be in the dark. There's a big correlation between what you know and what you earn. The more you know, the more value you add. And as we know, people pay for the value you add in their lives. This is the Bold Entrepreneur, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.